Hey, good afternoon, New York Comic Con. How are you doing?
Hey!
This is a big crowd. What are y'all here for? Is it Deadly Class?
Yeah.
Yes, we are here with the cast of Deadly Class, which is so exciting. You guys just dropped that you guys are finally have a premiere date, January 16th on SYFY. We get to see this. Yay!
Yeah. Don't miss it, don't miss it.
Yep.
I'm going to introduce everybody that we've got here today. We've got Mr. Benedict Wong.
Hey! That's me!
We've got Mr. Benjamin Wadsworth. Yay!
Hey!
We've got Gabriela de Faría.
Good.
We've got Tennie. And we've got Mr. Liam James. All right, how many of you guys were at the panel today? All right, you know what? You didn't get a chance to see the trailer, but you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna play it for you now. Let's take a look at the Deadly Class trailer right now.
To young people watching, I have a very personal message for you. I've always thought of school as an environment in which you can be great. There's a big, wonderful world out there for you. It's exciting and stimulating. So to my young friends out there, just say no.
I train creative problem solvers.
Do you have any idea where you are?
But we do not belong in my school.
This is insane. Did I just join a cult?
Just say no.
Thank you.
Woo! Let's give it up for that. That was amazing. Benedict, you run a really weird school at King's Landing, right?
Yeah, I picked it especially as well. So it was a problem school, and I was there to change things for the better.
It is messed up, and it looks beautifully messed up. That is.
Yeah, they're a beautiful bunch.
So let's talk a little bit. We've got Marcus as our kind of anchor character. He is a kid from the streets, not an easy life that he has lived so far. And then he gets kind of recruited to participate in this special school. So tell me a little bit about what you admired and is a little bit challenging about looking at playing with the character, Ben.
I admire Marcus with how truthful he is. He sees like someone getting bullied and he doesn't really care if it's gonna get him in trouble to speak out. What's a little tough about playing him? Maybe just getting beat up all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a
up
lot
quite
of
a
him
bit.
getting his butt kicked in the very beginning of this show.
He gets beat up quite a bit.
But
Yeah.
that's going to change at King's Dominion, right? It's going to be a little bit of an environment, maybe. We're going to learn some skills.
It might also
We'll
not.
see.
Well,
Yeah.
he's got a student body that's represented right here. You guys all kind of have your little cliques amongst the King's Dominion family, let's per se. And I'd love you guys to just give a little taste of your character and how they kind of interact with Marcus.
I'm gonna start.
Great.
Maria is an amazing character. She is 1 minute happy, the life of the party, and the next she's just either depressed or filled with rage. She was raised by the cartel, but she doesn't necessarily belong there. She's bipolar and she medicates secretly because she doesn't want people at King's Dominion to see her quote-unquote weakness.
Yeah.
And she's a very complex character, and she's gonna play games with Marcus's head a little bit.
Ooh, that's good. All right, Billy, what do we have?
All right, yeah. I play Billy. He's a really cool character as well.
Got a mohawk.
He's got a mohawk, my real hair. And as soon as Marcus shows up to the school, I think he kind of sees something in how honest Marcus is that he maybe doesn't see in himself. And he wants to be around Marcus. He doesn't really know why yet because he's a young man. He doesn't really understand his emotions yet or anything like that. And so all he really wants is to have a normal life and to have as much fun as possible because at this school, your life might end in the next
Literally.
week or 5 minutes. So Yeah, it's
Stakes
just
are
about
high. Yeah. You don't get through a regular day like someone else at, say, a prep school would go through.
Yeah. Depends which prep school, but yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. Let's talk about Luke, what Willie, who he is, and also how he kind of interacts with Marcus when we first meet him.
So Willie Lewis is someone who is from the streets of Watts, California. He's the leader of the Final World Order, which is a gang. It's tough. He got that leadership position through his reputation. He's a stone cold killer as far as everyone at King's Dominion is concerned. And Willie is someone whose main concern is maintaining that reputation. That's his main concern. His priority is making sure everybody knows he is not to be messed with. Because if they do mess with him, there are grave, grave consequences. That said, Marcus is somebody his entire being is truth. He's a cynic, and a lot of cynicism comes from truth. He's very critical, which again comes from seeking truth. He asks all of the most painful, painstaking questions. And Willie is somebody who will sacrifice truth to survive. So their whole dynamic is Marcus's quest for truth. What happens when that's faced with Willie's sacrifice of truth for survival? Now they're impeding on each other's method of survival. And it's crazy how that friendship is something that these people need, but at the same time, it's like it's the biggest threat to their way of life.
That's super eloquent. Way to go.
Thanks.
That was
What
awesome.
he said.
That's amazing. Benedict, just in terms of, you've been doing a lot of films, but you've done a lot of TV shows in England. And when you look at a project and what pulls you in, and especially in a TV show where it's going to take more of your time, more commitment in a role and being there longer, Masterlin is introduced in such a great way. He's enigmatic, and yet he is the law of the land at King's Dominion. So tell me a little bit about what in his personality appealed to you and felt like a really fun thing for you to be able to play and inhabit.
Well, I was just drawn by, I got a call off Joe Russo, and he just said, look, I've got this part for you. I really want you to be in it. Will you do it? I just said yes, and I didn't know what I said yes to, but, they've got a great pedigree, those brothers, so I just trusted that. And, when I moved on to the graphic novel, that this is something that, it's something I've not really seen before, and, coupled with Rick being the backbone,
right,
who's created the comics with Wes, and that transition from graphic novel to this miniseries now. Well, he was essentially what I read in graphic novel. We didn't really see much of Lynn now, and this is now it's really expanded into this now. Yeah, but
that's great.
Lynn is he doesn't suffer fools gladly, and he's a master sort of manipulator where he'll have his arm around you with the right hand and then a knife in the left to your kidneys. So, and we'll find out the reasons why. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, Rick Remender who created Deadly Class 2014. That's been his book that's been ongoing. He is one of your showrunners, and that's more of a rare opportunity to have someone that literally comes from one medium in comics and then is able to have so much of his creativity absolutely instilled in what you guys are getting for your scripts. So just curious, and when you get to have him as a resource, but then you also know the resource, his actual text is, what you could be using as backstory, but knowing that this is being adapted for a TV show, how much is your character the fidelity to the book versus the fidelity to what Rick is doing maybe a little differently in the TV show with your character?
I think the big difference is just more.
Yeah.
Because in the comic, we get what we get. The medium is limited in the ways that it is limited. Television is limited in the way that television is limited. But because there's a translation from one medium to the next, because our next medium is television, there's time.
Yeah.
So what you guys are familiar with these characters and their backstories, just buckle your seatbelt because there's more. There's just more to talk about. Rick uses the word unpack, and we're gonna be doing a lot of unpacking whilst Deadly Class is moving in on SYFY, you feel me?
Nice. Anybody else in terms of
what he said?
over?
Yeah, what he said, and also just the experience has been so incredibly collaborative. Rick is the most collaborative person I've ever worked with, which is amazing because he could have easily been the least collaborative because he has this whole plan set out in these comic books, but he has really let all of us take the reins on our characters, and it's just made me care more than I thought I could ever care about something.
And he even calls us and asks questions like, do you think Maria would do this?
Really?
Which is amazing because he is the creator of these characters and he's trusting us with this responsibility, and we feel a part of the creative process, and that is very rare and very special.
Yeah, that is. That's really wonderful that he's letting you guys own your characters as you're developing and then making them, which is really wonderful. You know, I wanted to ask also, there's some really wonderful integration. Obviously, you guys get to live in the 80s with this because it's a period piece. If you guys aren't aware of that, that has translated literally. But there's also some really great needle drops in terms of the use of music in this show. And I know how important that is to Rick just as a creative and how much that's meant to him as a creative as he's come up in that. Has he given you playlists? Do you guys have songs that you use to inspire?
He gave us all personal playlists.
Did he? That's awesome.
And like music for our characters. Who does that?
Who does that? That's amazing.
Rick Remender does
Rick
that.
Remender, yeah.
Has there been a song that you've taken to heart or that you play before you get into a scene or something where you feel like...
What was the one that they played during our scene last week?
It was from Jane's Addiction.
Ah, nice.
And it was amazing because we were doing this very amazing scene, and the director was like, do you guys want me to play the song for you while you're doing the scene? And that is also very rare. And that changed the entire scene, and it was really great.
Awesome. So we're going to play a game in a minute, but I wanted to finish up by asking, you know, this is a really intricate and interesting moral, basically, play. You know, Marcus is in a position where he has to have a moral compass, even though he is amongst killers. You guys all have your own motivations for why you're doing what you're doing, which is going to unfold over time. But it's a really interesting thing to be able to find a place to be able to explore individuality, freedom, retribution to a certain degree, justice in a very dark way that you have. What is the thing that you're most excited that this show is really going to make people think about, and the way you guys are portraying that?
I think the show makes us make choices because we know that every step we take, it's leading us towards what we want to be or what we're becoming. And so the characters are always asking those questions. Who do I want to be? What do I want to become? And that's something very relatable. I think we live with those questions every day at work and school. So it's a very honest and raw TV show that tackles themes like mental health, anxiety, love, betrayal. So, like, for me, it's amazing to be able to use this platform to talk about these things.
Yeah.
In a very fun, badass way.
Awesome. That's wonderful. All right, so we are going to play a game. Roll the dice. We've got a 20-sided die there. You guys just admitted to me that
We've
you're
been playing Dungeons and Dragons, y'all.
On the
They're
weekends.
authentic guys. Yeah.
My character's name is Tenzin. He's a tiefling. I'm just saying, he's a boss. That's all.
Joaquin, sorcerer. Every Sunday, D&D at my place.
Boom, baby.
We've been doing
You guys are all invited for D&D at their place.
Our place ain't that big. We ain't cool yet, so we can't. But
That's
you know,
a
let's
large
hope.
party that you guys are going to be putting together with all of that now. All right, so we've got this, and when you roll the dice, I'm going to give you a question that corresponds, and whomever wants to answer it, but we'll do a couple rounds of this. Who wants to take the die first?
It's right in front of
She's ready. What is
That's
it?
a 10.
Is that a 10? All right. For a 10,
Hit that top note.
what do you remember about the first con you ever attended? The first con that you ever attended?
Did I ever attend it?
Yep, ever. First con. Like
doesn't
this.
have to be a
This
comic
one,
con.
Number one, or have you been to any other?
To
Go
the
ahead.
San Diego one this year with Deli Class.
Was that the first?
It was the very first, and I couldn't believe that was my first. Like, I
That's starting
asked
big.
myself, like, what the hell is wrong with you? Where were you?
Where have I been?
Yeah.
Mark?
I've been to Space Con in
Ooh.
Galveston, I think.
Really?
In Texas.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of similar to Comic-Con, just a lot smaller.
What was yours, Benedict? What was yours?
Hello, hi. It was about 3 years ago, and I was on a...
Was it for Doctor Strange?
Yes.
Yes, that was
And
the
then I
first.
met all the Guardians of the Galaxy people and the Black Panther, and it was a real hoot.
That is good. That's starting auspicious.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, roll next. Who's next?
Liam James.
15.
Ooh, 15. All right. If you're gonna wait in line for someone's panel, whose would it be?
Happy?
Oh, there you go. Nice.
Definitely happy, yes.
Definitely happy.
Yeah, do you have any recommendations besides Deadly Class, I guess?
No,
Yeah.
that Deadly Class is a good one. I don't know. There's a lot of really good panels that are still finishing out today. There you go, guys. All right, next roll.
Next roll. 5. What is with these perfect, like, it is 5, 10, 15?
I know. All right, we had that one. Let's do, all right. I don't know if you guys have had this. Benedict, this might be a good one for you. What's the weirdest object someone has asked you to autograph? Not counting body parts.
Oh, I was just going to give my answer then. I've just signed a lot of gauntlets.
A lot of gauntlets.
Yeah. Nothing too weird apart from the body parts.
Yeah, You, anybody else?
Nah, man, I ain't cool. I just got here. What's good?
Yeah, pretty new to
Next
this.
Comic-Con.
Maybe next time, yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, there's gonna be some interesting stories the next one. All right, you guys gonna roll?
Hey, I'm coming down.
Yeah, come around, do it.
Here, I'm right here. Let's do it.
What do we got?
9.
9. All right.
There's
Inside jokes.
What's going
Love
on?
'em.
Is that a 6?
Is that a Comic-Con thing?
9?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
9.
We got it. We got it. All right. In board games, are you a go with the flow person, or are you a I will flip this board person?
Definitely go with the flow. I'm not like Maria.
Not super competitive, yeah.
Go with the flow.
Liam, go with the flow.
I'll be the bad guy.
He will.
A little bit of both. Yeah, a little bit of go with the flow and a little bit of let's get some flow going.
Good, good. Depends on the game, right? Sometimes, yeah. Benjamin?
I go with the flow of winning.
Go with the flow, yeah.
These are all very mellow people. We need the angry Monopoly players that they don't talk to each other at the end of the game, right?
That's my roommate. I love him so much. But when we play Monopoly, my goodness, tensions get so high. It's an exercise in patience and really self-reflection.
You need some cool-down time. You need to walk away.
Both of us, man, we get in it.
My brother flipped the board from a game of Mousetrap.
Get out.
Yeah. Yeah. Back in the late 70s.
Didn't take a half an hour to put that game together before you could flip it?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It takes
Next
a
one.
long time to set up. Yeah.
There we go. It comes to you.
Okay, kids. Get your cash out. 4.
All right, here we go. If you could somehow talk to your younger self, what would you tell them if you wanted to totally blow their tiny mind?
Don't worry about your brother flipping the Mousetrap board table. Things will be all right. Don't
be
stop
okay.
crying.
One day you'll be at Comic-Con in New York City. But then that would have messed it all up, and I would.
You don't want to know that's coming, right?
Yeah,
Just
don't
be
mess up with
surprised
the
by it.
timelines.
You'll be friends with Benedict Wong.
Nice. That's great.
All of that. All of that, yes.
Perfect. All right, we've got maybe 2 more rolls, so let's try one more.
17.
4. We did a 4, didn't we? Yeah, we did a 4. One more. 17.
No.
That's
called that.
All right.
My dog.
Do ghosts exist, and have you ever seen one? was good. I believe that.
I'm sure there's one somewhere over here.
It depends on what you call them, and if you do call them whatever. Like, there's a lot of categories and stuff that people do.
Oh,
so.
there we go. Yeah.
I see a couple
yeah.
right there. We got a none goes.
God.
I see
looks
some
like
more
one.
spirits.
That's
you know.
good.
Oh, we got a she go back there. What's good?
Look, there's one back there too. That's good.
Oh my God.
Authentic. All right, let's get another roll.
All right. You go for it.
8.
8. All right. We've got, where would you build your secret base? I mean, I guess we could kind of call King's Dominion sort of a secret base, but
Yeah.
where would you make your personal secret base as a superhero? Batcave.
I'd want it somewhere in New York. Funny enough, one of my favorite like layers for a hero would be the sorcerer. It's some cool name. Wherever y'all be kicking it with that cool window, would look like an asterisk with Doctor Strange and Wong. That place looked dope, and they got like capes all up in there and like just relics and all of that.
It's a killer to clean, though.
You know, it's so cool, and it's in New York. Like, it's so cool. I want that.
I like it. Move in. You just knock him out. Go right in. Anybody else? Anybody got a place that is your
Like
secret
in
place?
Venezuela, in the Amazonas forest, for sure, where
Ah.
it's where I'm from. So it's beautiful. So definitely there.
Okay, we'll take that. That sounds good. All right, I think we've got one more. Let's do one more.
One more roll?
One more roll.
Liam James.
All right.
You can do it. You can do it.
16.
Ooh. All right. All right. You're in a huge Game of Thrones battle. What's your weapon of choice? This should be easy for you guys. It's Weapon Central over at the.
Pick your weapons.
You got that right.
My sexuality.
You heard it here first.
Wow.
That was good.
I
Go
can't
get him,
say
goat
anything
boy.
after that. Like, that's it.
I think dragons would trump his sexuality. Would it? Would it not? I'm not
Ha,
sure.
listen, you don't know what he got, you know?
Dragon sex. Oh, that's the final arc of the show.
Just wait till you see what we have in store for you.
Amazing. Awesome. All right, so before we finish up, I also wanted to ask, because one of the other elements of the show that we didn't really get into was the action of it all. So, you know, when Rick has created his comic and the kind of kick-ass stuff that happens, you guys get to, as you said, just do more, and you get to show it. So what's been your individual processes in terms of, you all come from different cliques, you all come from Yakuza houses, and as you said, gangs, and you all have your own special thing that makes your strength and your power and your assassin powers the best. So tell me a little bit about how you distinct, if there's a move that you've asked to help develop, or something to be a signature kind of thing for you as you've grown into these roles, because the physicality is a big part of it.
Definitely for Maria is her fans. She has a very flowy way of moving.
Yeah.
It's kind of even distracting for the people that I'm fighting with. That's kind of her thing. You don't know if she's like seducing you
We
or
saw a little taste of it in the
tailing you.
trailer too, right?
Yes.
A little
Really
bit.
cool.
Mhm.
So I do have a very different way of attacking than Saya, for example, that she's more like straightforward.
Got it.
Yeah.
Good. What's Billy up to?
Sexual, yeah. Billy is a skateboarder, so skate or die, and that's all you need to know. Is it's just
Ooh.
he loves to skateboard, and you might see his skateboard in the show.
For Willie, it's his hands. But if you guys know the comic, you know that he's not a particular fan of violence. That said, though, if he has to, it would be physical hand-to-hand combat. From the comic, he's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
And when I got cast, I was pretty insecure. I was like, how do I act small? But they were like, no, we picked you because that works for his facade.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, so, like, I'm enough. Like, it works the way it is.
Yep.
So if that's the case, then he's somebody who's proficient with hand-to-hand combat. But it's like street, mixed in with masculines, Eastern influences. It's really cool.
Nice. Benjamin?
This is the weapon of choice. This is what
Well, you know, in the beginning, we don't necessarily see your skills, and we obviously, as we move forward, so without spoiling, but just in terms of what does he start leaning into?
Well,
as Ralph?
Marcus in the comics is always depicted with a baseball bat, so I really want to get that baseball bat out. You know.
That works. And now, with us getting more of Master Lin, do we ever, in this first season, get to see how he fights?
Well, I mean, he uses just a sort of like an arsenal of weaponry. I mean, he has his own walking stick, which can sort of
That'll do
take
it.
many different forms. And there's a few fights that we've been involved in, and there's a few weapons of choice which you'll
We get to
see in a diner.
Ooh. Tease.
It'll be really fun.
Tease.
Teased you there with a bit of food as
I
well,
like
didn't
it. Well,
Food related.
we have a little bit of time to wait, but it's not that long because now we have a date. We know
It's
when you guys are
Jan
coming.
16. When is it?
Yeah.
When is it?
January 16th.
Yes, they're indoctrinated.
On SYFY, guys. Thank you so much. We're super
Thank you so much for
excited
having
to be
us.
able to see it.
Hey, thank you
Thanks
so much for
everybody
being here, man. Thanks for coming out.
You guys
Thanks
look
so much,
awesome.
you guys.
And up
Wow.
next, we've got the
Wow.
Critical Role full cast. Come on,
too,
guys.
Mr. Strong.
Woo! Stick around. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jackie Jennings with Sci-Fi Wire. If you can't get enough of New York Comic Con, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel for news, interviews, cosplay, and so much more. What are you waiting for?